Hey everyone, this is Eric here, and as many of you are aware, I'm here in Bangalore, yes, with Cuddy here in the background, because of the COVID lockdown. And I have been living with type 1 diabetes for the last 12 years, and there's actually a lot of parallels between the diabetes distress and what's going on with COVID. And since I'm someone that keeps myself physically fit, but then also tries to do things to maintain my mental health, I figured today I'd just share 5 of kind of my self-care tips that I've learned because of this disease with all of you.
When you are lonely and the world is dark, when tears are flowing from your broken heart, hold on to hope because you've come so far. Just hold on, just hold on, just hold on.
Alright, we all know that when we first wake up, so many of us reach for our phones. Now, I am privileged enough to actually be wearing a continuous glucose monitor that sends blood sugar readings to my phone. And so, as someone living with type 1 diabetes, the first thing when I wake up is that I want to know what my blood sugars are, but I've actually changed how I approach that. When I wake up, I actually make sure for the first 15 minutes in the morning that I don't look at my phone. I make sure I brush my teeth, if I want to take a shower or walk outside and drink some water, but just make sure I take it easy and actually let myself mentally enter the day before reaching for my phone. Because when I do, I'll see my blood sugars and I'll immediately start thinking about all these thoughts, how to correct it, how to go forward, what's happening. And so that might relate to you with dealing with Instagram or checking emails or checking texts or not having texts. And so just to help prevent that and consciously step into the day, I give myself 15 minutes of phone-free time every single morning. Now, speaking of the mornings, there's a phenomena known in the diabetes community called the dawn phenomena. And what that is, and I experience it pretty badly, is that when you wake up, your blood sugar can actually go up 30 or 40 points with just you waking up. And that's kind of like being an A student and automatically dropping down to a B. But there's something you can do to prevent that. Alright, now can you guess who chewed on my jump rope? If you can't see, if you can see that. Gotta close your doors around here. Now, if jumping rope wasn't the world's most awkward thing to do on camera, I would, because movement in the morning is so important mentally getting you going, but also physically. I can tell you that my blood sugar starts climbing up, and then instantly when Suniha and I do yoga, or if I jump rope, or you might go on a walk in the morning, that instantly can smooth out your blood sugar and give you a much better start into the rest of the day. Alright, I changed my mind because there's a perfect opportunity to prove how much jump rope can do, even for 15 minutes. And this can be walking, this could be any type of movement. That is what I've learned over the years as an adventure filmmaking, biking, running. It's just movement that's important. So right now, my blood sugar is red. See, that's bad. Right now it is 217. And so I'm gonna jump rope for 15 minutes and just share those results with you. And it might not always be a perfect drop, but you'll probably see this trend of it changing, which is pretty remarkable.
Gonna do my thing. Let's go. Gonna keep on doing what I do, yeah. Gonna take it high, gonna take it low. Gonna keep on doing what I do, yeah. Do what I do. Gonna do my thing.
Alright, beyond just actually feeling much better, you'll see that I'm starting to trend down, and then in like the next 30 minutes, or I'll keep this up to date, I'll share with you what that actually did to my blood sugar. But so many times, especially if you're going through some sort of kind of emotional trigger, a lot of times I'll just hop and do 5 or 10 minutes of jump rope just to kind of push yourself over that hurdle. And then especially if you have type 1 diabetes, it's just great for blood sugar management, always to be moving.
This is our time. It's a crazy cosmic journey. I feel fine. Something so right. This is our time.
Yes, they're very good.
There's no waiting, hesitating, baby. This is our time.
Alright, if you follow this channel, this shot should look familiar to you and all these sounds. If not, watch this video. But I truly believe in the power of journaling. I think something important to keep in context is that my entire life pretty much fits in one bag. So everything I bring is incredibly important. And so for adventure filmmaking, but also diabetes management, and also keeping track with myself, I carry one moleskin journal for personal thoughts. And in here, it's usually kind of ideas for films, but then also more of the day-to-day. Here's the date, location, what's going on. I do actually carry a nice pen with me. That's one of my goals. So this is a Uniball from Japan. I believe I actually picked it up in Canada, so shout out to Raquel. This is where I picked it up, but I always try to travel with a nice pen because it makes writing a lot better. And then this journal kind of fell into my life just by circumstance. This is the Tiny Change Journal. I know some people, my friend Apurva up in New Delhi uses this as well. The whistle is the trash for all of my American viewers. Why I believe this journal is really important for self-care is that it allows me to put out a yearly view, and then a monthly view, and then tasks for the week, and then every single day. And so in those moments of feeling really overwhelmed or just not knowing what to do or feeling stuck or not seeing the progress I want to see, I look at this journal and kind of know what the next steps are to reach my goals. Alright, now if you're like me, you like this combination of physical writing, so you know what you need to do, but then you can translate that over to the digital. And this is how I manage how to actually be in charge of my own time, but then also fit in diabetes management. So with the Tiny Change Journal, I look at my weekly goals and then my day goals and put that over into a task manager and a timer app called Be Focused Pro. In here, you'll see all of the kind of big picture stuff that I want to tackle and get done. And then if today I was working on the Miles Portraits trailer, since that's why I'm here in Bangalore, was this big bike trip, I'll set a 52-minute timer, focus on that one task, and then I have an 8-minute break. And that happens 3 times, and then after the 3rd time I have an hour-and-a-half break. But during that 8-minute break, that's one separate to my desk, over where dark roast is stored, in my handlebar bag, out of sight. This is where I keep my phone. And so in that 8-minute check-in on my diabetes, I'll go in, see if I need to make any corrections, things are good here, and then avoid digital distractions. Put that away, and then get back to work. Legitimately always wants the cuddles. Now, something amazing about the diabetes community, the cycling community, and a lot of communities, even here, the YouTube community, is this online resource, and I don't think it should be overlooked. If you're locked in from COVID, which half the world is, you're realizing you're spending more and more time online. And instead of seeing that as a huge challenge or obstacle, there's a few things I've done to actually make that strength and benefit. One thing is the Diet Badass Face Fear Summit, where my friend Matt Scott and I brought together maybe 20 people, 20 of my friends, and interviewed them and kind of just asked them how they're dealing with this whole COVID situation, but then also using the opportunity to have deeper conversations. And I think that's what a lot of us can have at home. I've heard people like my friend Caitlin have deeper conversations with her family, but friends, and also online. And I've learned over the years that there's no reason that this online community can't be there to serve deeper needs. A lot of us on Instagram and other platforms have seen a ton of challenges going out there, and while some of those can be really overwhelming, you also might be able to put something together that you want to see. And so if you follow me on Instagram, I've actually partnered up with my friends Sarah McLeod and Raquel Bergh to focus on this time to take care of yourself. This was really born out of an interview I was having for the Together type film, which I'll talk about in a second, where my friend Jordy, who's a nurse with type 1 diabetes, said, "Take care of you to take care of others." Our medical professionals are on the front line. They also need help. But overall, to help our community and society right now, take care of you. So on Instagram, you'll see that challenge. You can follow the hashtag T1DUtime. And we'll be putting out small little daily challenges. So even if you are watching this video later, you can go back and see what we focused on.
I know the way home.
Alright, and a lot of you might be using this as creative time. What you have in the background, this is Suniha, who's an artist, my hostess here. She finished this, I don't know, maybe last week. But a lot of you might be having more time at hands. Jack Coyne actually has a great video that I'll leave up here about baking bread and why all of us are baking bread, and that comfort. And for me, a lot of times creativity is a sense of comfort. And that's where I want to talk about the Together type film. Out of the Face Fear Summit, actually having these conversations with people and just hearing other stories and how much comfort that brings us, we decided to make a collaborative, collective film about what it's like to live with diabetes during the COVID lockdown. So if you want to get involved, share your story, or also just be part of the experience, check out dietbadass.com/together film. You'll see a few questions such as, if you were the weather, what's in your forecast? You guys can also answer that down below, just as a sense of how we're all feeling, what's going on, and how we're dealing with this as a global community. So it's been amazing to get some of those stories and bring this community together for an actual common goal.
Just hold on, just hold on, just hold on.
Alright, something that diabetes definitely teaches us, but then especially as I have more interviews with people all around the world, is that we all approach things differently and all interact and deal with things differently. So if there was one tip that you'd want to share, what would that be? Leave in the comments below, and if you see something that you like, let that person know. Let's kind of spread that energy, spread that knowledge, because often the simplest things can have the biggest impacts, but that doesn't always mean it's easy. So with that, remember that you can go anywhere, do anything. Thanks for tuning in.
We as a collective starts with me as an individual. If I'm not caring for and valuing myself at the highest level, how can I extend that energy outward to help us as a collective? It has to start from within. And I think that's what I mean by being your own hero, is really understanding how much power you have over your own choices and actions each day, and how those choices and actions actually end up being the state of your reality.